William, I have a deal for you.
And I will never accept.
Another lifetime of this, and you will. I know you're hungry. I know you feel like you're dying, but never get better and you never expire. You live forever in constant pain, and you are trapped in a dead world with mind making.
And I still refuse. Your time will come.
We'll see.
The prophecy is nearly complete. There are a couple of questions, though. What does the Chosen One drink from the cup? And what does the final ritual entail? Amazing, though, huh? When we started this journey, I didn't even know who I was, and there were 12 of you fighting for this opportunity to understand the world that we're in now. And the whole time, the shadows seemed to be manipulating and trying to prevent this. But here we are. You are the Chosen One, Scott. Team name Remember the Titans. And you are destined to save humanity. I'm supposed to help. But even knowing who I am and dealing with the past, I do not know the next step. I fear that something has happened and that information is lost. What's that?
James, no time to waste. We must get to Constance.
Hassan! It can't be! You're still alive?
Franklin, I have a bad feeling about this. Things are too quiet. Where's the Chosen One?
Patience, Constance. The shadows can be anywhere. You certainly didn't defeat them. That was just an infection.
Right again, old pal. Ever get that green ball?
Timothy, I can't believe it. Are you okay?
Keep away, Franklin. That's not Timothy. I saw him die.
And to think you picked me to join your cause, Dr. Landry. You never thought to save me?
Stop toying with me. I know this is a trick.
But it's just so much fun. Did you really think you could stop us with your primitive tools? These are all just games to me.
Okay, I see what's going on here. Then tell us what your endgame is already, because I am very sick of this preamble. I mean, all-powerful? More like all boring.
Franklin, the hero of the planet on more than one occasion. Did you ever think about why you weren't the Chosen One? The one who couldn't even win that pathetic human fantasy game?
Stalin, huh? Perhaps you have no plan, no endgame. I think you're bluffing about your true power. That's why you need to infect and infiltrate, isn't it?
Of course. This time loop created from the files is all part of the illusion. I should have known. The strange gas at Ghost Mountain. It was a failed attempt of yours. But why Ghost Mountain first? What was its importance?
Do not confuse my obstacles with a lack of power. We have done this so many times before. This dimension was just so much easier than the others. You see angry beings from the Master Universe. They were sick of an elder race. They were sick of peace and of harmony. And they awoke us to be their savior, their god of chaos. It was so beautiful, twisting perception and infecting and driving everyone mad. But the elders had one last plan. Using their power, they split the universe and time itself into unlimited dimensions. The Big Bang, you all know, was actually just one shard of time exploding from the Master Universe and creating this tentacle of life. What this did was split us up, reducing our power and trapping us, scattered throughout dimensions. But the elders also reduced their powers, scattering themselves through the dimensions, ultimately leaving the Master Universe and all other dimensions sealed from one another. They continued to try and stop us, but we're always one step ahead. Your universe is just one of billions. We were able to infect and use the beings in each dimension as puppets to create our gateways and portals, slowly becoming whole again. The elders started to do the same, created portals to stop certain actions and prevent us from completing our plan. But we infected an elder, learned of the plan, and our hive mind went to work to open a portal for us here. The elder's plan was to secretly hide a relic here, use it against us to trap us in your dimension. You see, they don't care about your dimension. They don't care about you. They only want to stop us. The elders were crafty. My actions perpetuated the prophecy, though, and that has led us to this moment. They're not as crafty as us. Their plan relied on a gateway. What you call Ghost Mountain was actually a portal we found where the elders were trying to come through. We infected it with a gas from the Great Dimensional Schism, a gas of time particles that sealed the elders away. You think you're saving humanity. That's a lie. And we helped continue it because we will now use the elders' plan against them. It was us who set forth these events now to bring the Chosen One here. You see, your Chosen One can seal us in this dimension, and then the elders can destroy all dimensions and live in peace and harmony again in the Master Universe. But the Chosen One can also open all seals and allow us to reign supreme, mold our own dimensions and playgrounds. They underestimated our true power. Even scattered, we are a hive. We are one.
We are Ochitans Abyssos, and now we will become whole again, and nothing will be as beautiful as the chaos that is yet to come.
The world's essence flows, shadows spread from the pyramids to the oceans to the coasts. But behold the test, a smoking gun, a quest passed down for generations, a prophesized hero, the champion. In order to save everyone, thou must drink from the cup. 12 of us on this mission. What's next? 17 weeks to be the best. Injuries and buys, thou should have guessed. The waiver wire request was denied, but maybe a trade will provide an edge and a chance to be a legend. Fight for humanity, reach the goal. It's a quest for the green ball. Green ball.
Welcome to the quest for the Green Ball, the Shadows of Chaos, and welcome to the season finale. We'll get to the exciting conclusion of our post-apocalyptic sci-fi slightly cosmic horror theme story a little later in the show, but yes, we do know who the Chosen One is now, and I'm just gonna jump right into our results from Championship Week, which was actually one of our worst weeks in terms of drama, but for some that finished with wins, it was obviously really good. Starting in the Void Bowl, we got the multiple scoregasms hosting Meow Master at the Gateway Islands with the number 1 overall pick in the 2022 draft on the line. Was no luck for Meow Master this season as the lack of coaching strategy failed in a big way. The multiple scoregasms easily won 84.6 to 53.56 and is probably already researching her draft for next season with the likes of Derrick Henry, Cooper Kupp, and Jonathan Taylor projected as potential top picks. Tannehill was one of the busts at quarterback this season, but he did have 2 touchdowns here to help the scoregasms, and Eli Mitchell had a big game with 130 yards and a score. Jacoby Myers caught a touchdown and Aaron Jones had over 100 yards as well. Mike Davis scored for Meow Master, and the 49ers defense had 3 sacks and an interception, allowing just 7 points. But in the end, the scoregasms survive and get the top pick next year, finishing 6-10 overall. And Meow Master is now known as the aimless drifter lost in time and space, finishing 2-14 overall, the worst winning percentage of all time in the league. In the Apocalypse Bowl, the second pick in the 2022 draft was on the line, with the Stellar Bitches hosting My Heart Will Go On at Misty Forest. These were not kind to the stellar bitches this season, and with 0 waiver wire moves, weeks like this became the norm at the end. My Heart Will Go On did just enough to claim the 83.02 to 64.66 win. Aaron Rodgers connected with Devontae Adams twice to help lead the charge here, and Deontay Johnson also caught a touchdown. 4 field goals also propelled Justin Tucker to a 14-point day. Stafford had 2 touchdowns, and kicker Jason Myers and the Buffalo defense combined for 32 points, but 6 players under 5 points was the reason for the stellar bitches loss here. My Heart Will Go On gets the 2nd pick next year, finishing 8-9 overall, and the stellar bitches settle for the 5th pick after a 7-10 season. Moving on to the Tesseract Bowl with the consolation title and the number 3 pick for next year on the line. Loki Lebowski Thor hosted the Siamese Dreamcats at the Philosopher's Swamp. Dreamcats had some revenge here, as a 3-point loss to Lebowski Thor in the regular season was one of the reasons for not making the playoffs. This time it was all Cats in a 137.56 to 86.92 win. The Cats rode on the back of Jamar Chase, who had a monster 266-yard and 3 touchdown game that included a 5-point bonus for yards and 2 1-point bonuses for 50-plus yard scores. Chase's 51.6 points is the best score ever for a wide receiver in this league, and is 4th all-time for non-quarterbacks. Metcalf also caught 3 touchdowns, and Montgomery rushed for 2 scores. Even Trey Lance threw for 2 touchdowns. Lebowski Thor had 2 touchdowns by Kyler Murray, 1 by Beckham Jr., and a big game by kicker Boswell, who had 4 field goals, including a 50-plus yard one. But no one came close to matching Chase. The Dreamcats finished the season 8-8 overall and will have the 3rd pick next year. Lebowski Thor also finished 8-8 overall and will end up with the number 7 pick next year. On to the Lightning Bowl with 5th place on the line as Risky Business took on Green Acres at the Tower of Lightning. Like the last week of the regular season, it was Risky Business making the right moves in a 124.7 to 89.28 win. Tom Brady did his usual thing with 410 yards and 3 touchdowns, and A.J. Dillon had 83 yards and 2 touchdowns as well. Kamara finally stepped up with 100 yards and a score, and Sony Michel had a nice end of the year, finishing with 99 yards and a score. Lockett also caught a touchdown. For Green Acres, Herbert had 2 scores, Ekelor finished with 112 yards and a touchdown, and Agunbowale finished with a score as well. The Patriots defense had 2 sacks, 3 interceptions, and allowed just 10 points, but it wasn't enough. Risky Business finishes 10-6 overall and gets the number 8 pick next year. Green Acres closes the year 9-7 and will have the number 12 pick, and a long time to wonder what could have been if he did end up with that number 1 seed. In the Roman Bowl, Galgal took on Uncle Justy at the Coliseum of Warriors, with Galgal looking to get the taste of being another number 1 seed victim in league history out of his mouth. Gal won 136.94 to 74.5 with the match pretty much decided early on. Prescott threw for 3 touchdowns and Najee Harris had 206 total yards and a score. Darrell Williams added 127 total yards and 2 scores, and Jonathan Taylor had 114 yards and a touchdown. Mike Williams also caught a touchdown. 2 rushing scores by Josh Allen, 115 yards by Gronkowski, and a touchdown by Renfro were some highlights for Uncle Justy. The Rams defense allowed 13 points with 5 sacks and 2 forced turnovers as well. But it was Galgal getting the bronze this season after winning it all in 2020. Galgal also gets the number 9 pick next season. Uncle Justy will pick 11th once again as the 4th place finisher. And then there was the where my second-seeded Great Superior Superb Owls took on 5th-seeded Remember the Titans at the Great Pyramid. Things started well for the Superb Owls with touchdowns by Josh Jacobs and Patrick Mahomes, but the Joe Burrow show and the Giants' absolute clown show of a performance against the Bears quickly turned the tides. In fact, Remember the Titans easily destroyed the Superb Owls, 165.84 to 98.26, with the second biggest margin of victory ever in a Green Bowl, the best score in Green Bowl history, and the second best weekly score in league history. Remember the Titans, who was the runner-up last season, seemed destined to win the title this year and really worked for it with 72 waiver wire moves, second most in the league. That was the reason he won here. Joe Burrow was drafted by Remember the Titans, and he clearly was his best pick in the draft after the playoff showing. Burrow had 446 passing yards and 4 touchdowns. The Bears defense was drafted by Remember the Titans too, but he dropped them all year until picking them back up this week. The Bears finished with 4 sacks, 4 forced turnovers, a safety, and just 3 points allowed for 25 points. Damian Harris was drafted too and had 2 touchdowns. And first-round pick Travis Kelce also caught a touchdown. Another top draft pick in Cooper Kupp had 95 yards and a score. But waiver pickup Rashad Penny was a huge reason for the win as well. 185 yards and 2 scores. Kicker Matt Prater added 4 field goals, including a 50-plus yard one. One of the keys in Justin Jefferson wasn't needed as he had to deal with a backup quarterback and struggled. In fact, the odd thing is that Kupp, Kelce, CeeDee Lamb, and Jefferson combined for just 34.8 points, and Remember the Titans still won. That's because Burrow, Penny, and the Bears defense combined for 101.34 points. The Superb Owls had 2 touchdowns by Patrick Mahomes and touchdowns by Deebo Samuel and Josh Jacobs, and the Saints defense dominated with 7 sacks, 2 forced turnovers, and 10 points allowed. Key to the game, Tyreek Hill disappointed again, though, with just 42 yards, and Chubb, Kittle, and Waddle also underperformed expectations, with each scoring under 6 points. Remember the Titans gets all the glory in 2021, finishing 10-7 overall with his first ever Green Bowl title after feeling the sting of defeat in 2020. The Superb Owls came so close, but just didn't get the big-time performance they needed in the most important week. They closed the year with the silver and an 11-5 overall record. What a year it was for us all battling in this league. Not only injuries to deal with, but all the COVID outbreaks at the end of the season. The big thing is, though, coaching actually won out this season. It was pretty amazing. Only one team didn't ever change their lineup, and most of us made moves the majority of the time. It made this league even better. And before I bring in Remember the Titans, who's coached by Scott Gerard, to discuss his championship as he celebrates it, I wanted to go over our draft picks for 2022. You know, it's gonna be a wild time in 2022, and of course, we know our draft picks already next year. And these things change because you have the NFL draft, you have free agency, so these rankings change. But I wanted to go over where we're picking and the top 24 players at this moment going into next year to give us a taste of who might be taken where. Of course, you got the multiple scoregasms. They're the top pick. You got My Heart Will Go On as the number 2 pick. The Siamese Dreamcats is the number 3 pick. Meow Masters number 4. The Stellar Bitches are number 5. My Great Superior Superb Owls are number 6. Low-Key Lebowski Thor's number 7. Risky Business is number 8. Galgal's number 9. Remember the Titans is number 10, Uncle Justy number 11, and Green Acres is number 12. And of course, round 2 will start with Green Acres and go backward as we do a snake draft. And based on these crazy early rankings, and again, in our league, I wouldn't be surprised if quarterbacks get mixed up here and like tight ends that probably should be picked in the 8th round or something like that. Hopefully not kickers and defense, but you never know. Our league could be pretty ridiculous. I wouldn't be surprised by any of that. I'm going on these rankings based on who should be taken in all of fantasy drafts in those first 24 picks. And again, this might change. This is just a completely way too early ranking. But the way I look at it, in my eyes, I see the top 3 picks probably being interchangeable. Maybe the top 5 picks being interchangeable. But Derrick Henry, to me, probably number 1. And the fact that he still finished so high, missing 8 weeks. I mean, he would have been on pace for an insane year. Jonathan Taylor is probably another one because of the carries he gets in Indianapolis. Austin Eckler had a great season with Herbert there. You would expect that team to get even better. Joe Mixon, of course, had a great year, and Joe Burrow starting to be really good, so that might make Mixon even better. Cooper Kupp, the fact that he was the number 1 wide receiver, you got to have him number 5. Najee Harris was a great rookie this year. Even if he doesn't have Roethlisberger, that might actually help his cause if they get a good quarterback, to come in and fill in there. Najee Harris, I have at number 6 at the moment. Ezekiel Elliott and Jamar Chase are my 7 and 8. Jamar Chase obviously had a fantastic year as a rookie, only looks to get better with Joe Burrow throwing to him. Devontae Adams, if Aaron Rodgers remains with the Packers, Adams clearly is still a first-round pick or early second-round pick. I have him at number 9. Justin Jefferson is obviously shown that it wasn't a fluke. 2 great years. I'm expecting a third. I have him at number 10. Deebo Samuel, the only reason I have him down at 11 is because Garoppolo might be gone, and will Trey Lance be good enough to get him the ball in the air? But Samuel also does things on the ground, so I still think he's a first-round pick or early second-round pick. Of course, number 12, we got Nick Chubb, because running backs are going to go early, and Chubb obviously is pretty good still, and we'll see what the Browns can do to make their team better. Baker Mayfield does not help Nick Chubb because they're just going to stack the box and make Baker Mayfield beat them, but Nick Chubb is a beast and actually had one of the best years with people stacking the box still. So, if anything happens, anything opens up with their passing game, it makes Nick Chubb even better. Elvin Kamara, I got at number 13 with Taysom Hill as his quarterback, maybe Jameis Winston. We don't really know. Kamara's still really good. I know he's had some injuries. I'm expecting him to be really good here. Delvin Cook's another guy who gets injuries multiple times. We don't know what's going on with the Vikings coaching staff. That could change things, but Cook's a beast. I'm expecting him to keep going. Christian McCaffrey's been injury prone, but I would not expect him to drop past the second round because of his potential. Tyreek Hill, I got at number 16. He's so volatile, so I could see him actually dropping a little bit. I could see him being picked higher. It's just such a roll of the dice because of how volatile he is from week to week. Mark Andrews, our first tight end. I mean, look at the season he had. Even with backup quarterbacks coming in, I think his ceiling's pretty high. I think he's the top tight end going into next year. Damian Harris is another running back that should be there. And then you got Travis Kelce, of course, another tight end. Jalen Waddle was one of the best wide receivers coming up late. And really what only held him back is Tua Tagovailoa. So if the quarterback situation gets better in Miami, he's such a weapon. I'm surprised they didn't utilize him in more of a Deebo Samuel way, because he looked like he could do things in the running game as well. So we'll see what happens there. Javonte Williams, I think, is going to take over the complete starting role in Denver. I think he's going to be a huge pick. And of course, I have him ranked this low only because Melvin Gordon is there at the moment. So we'll see what happens there. He could skyrocket up the rankings. David Montgomery is still good on the Bears. So, I mean, it really depends on coaching and all those things, but I'm guessing he's going to be a second round pick. Stephon Diggs still has Josh Allen throwing to him. I'm expecting him to kind of have a bounce back season after a slow start this year. And Adam Thielen, he was injured at the end of the year, probably would have been higher up the rankings. He might even be higher up the wide receiver rankings. We don't know. He gets the ball a lot. I know he's got Justin Jefferson, but Kirk Cousins does like throwing to him. But again, we don't know what the Vikings are going to do, how their offense is going to change. So I'm sure all of us who fell short in 2021 are already doing some research. And of course, mock fantasy draft season will begin following the 2022 NFL draft and the free agent signing period, and maybe with the coaching changes and all those things. And as we get closer to the start of the season and preseason, and that actually brings me back to this year. Now, one team that turned his preparation into a championship. Remember the Titans. He stepped up in a big way after finishing runner-up last year. He won the whole thing, taking out my Super Bowls, making me feel the sting of defeat. He actually joined me this week to talk about his Green Bowl championship. Roll the tape.
All right, so I'm joined by the Green Bowl champion of 2021. Remember the Titans, Scott Gerard. Wow, man, what a week. I mean, you not only got revenge on my Super Bowls, you outscored my number 2 weekly score that I put against you in the most important week of the year to get your own number 2 weekly score. I mean, 165 points. Was that even a number you were dreaming about going into this thing?
Not at all. I thought crack triple digits and we'll call it a good week and give it a good shot at winning. I think over 150 was not even a remote possibility, let alone 165. Unbelievable.
Man, how's it feel? I mean, you came so close a year ago, and now you're the 2021 Green Bowl champion, 5th Green Bowl champion in our league's history. What's it mean to you to be able to get this, to be able to get the trophy, win it? It's difficult, man. You did the grind this year.
I'm super pumped. Yeah, I was looking back at like some of the transactions I made early in the season and like my draft. I was so happy with how the draft turned out, and then both Mostert and Dobbins went down for the season, and it was just like I thought it was over at that point. And so like to sort of have puzzled together a team throughout the season with running backs and stuff, and I'm pretty proud of this one and pretty happy with how it turned out, but pretty proud of like all the transactions and stuff that went into it.
Oh yeah, the war of attrition that is fantasy football.
Yeah,
you definitely lived through that before the season even started. With Dobbins going down, that was insane.
Yeah,
especially when he was on your higher draft pick, so you're expecting a lot from him. That's tough to overcome, and you did. I think it was the day after the draft, actually, that he got hurt. So I remember coming out of that draft feeling great, and then the next day seeing that injury news come and just being like, okay, never mind. Yeah, I have to say, do you have any words for me? Now I'm in your shoes as the runner-up. Obviously, I'm proud of my season. Getting silver is pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
Still. And, I think I built a pretty good team as well. Definitely gave myself a chance. I didn't expect to go up against the juggernaut this week, but, it still stung a little bit, but, I'm still pretty good. But what are your words for me to try and do what you did?
Good luck next year. I'm not going down without a fight. I will absolutely be interested in a repeat championship. So, my advice would just be, trust your gut. Go with what feels right on draft day. We've talked about it before when I've been on, but that Kelsey pick in the first round was like, I had been thinking about it and doing some looking into it, and I was pretty nervous about it, but I decided to just go for it and have fun with it, and it ended up working out. He didn't do much during the championship game or even parts of the season, but like last week, he was a huge part of getting me through to the championship game. And so, just go with your gut.
Yeah, and I'll have the 6th pick next year too, just like you had this year. So I'll definitely have to make, when you have the 6th pick, you got to make difficult decisions sometimes. You have to maybe pick above value. So I understand the Kelsey pick. It's just tight ends in the first round, and it worked out for you. He did get a touchdown this past week too, even though he didn't have a beast game. Like he helped you. And I have to say, I was surprised that this match didn't go down closer to the end. I'm surprised it was over so fast. It started well for me. I was really excited. I had the Josh Jacobs touchdown, the Patrick Mahomes throwing it to not Travis Kelce, so I was like, feeling pretty good.
And then it just went downhill so fast that by the time the afternoon of the early window games came, I knew I needed a miracle already. I mean, you had the Giants being a clown show, even though the coach doesn't want to call it that. They were a clown show, getting beat by the Bears that bad. And then you had Burrow connecting with Jamar Chase, which of course, my fiance Alex was all excited for. Siamese Dreamcats winning the consolation title.
Yep.
Taking me down. I mean, just an insane kind of a thing. I mean, was that a surprise to you that it just was so fast? I mean, I know there could have been some crazy things that happened later, like it wasn't necessarily like clinched yet until after the Sunday afternoon games, but man, and going down that big and seeing the Bears drop 25 points and Burrow drop 40 points, I was pretty much conceding to you already at that point.
Honestly, it was the Bears defense even more that Burrow that like sort of gave me okay, this is just going to happen this time. Like Burrow going off. I mean, he did the week before, but when I pick up a defense and they score 25 points, I'm feeling good about how luck is favoring me that week. And what's crazy too is the guys who I think going into the week I sort of was relying on for later surges like Lamb and Justin Jefferson didn't end up coming through that big. And so it's good that I had those early things, but Kelsey, Jefferson, and Lamb combined for under 20 points between the three of them, which if you had told me that, I would have said I'm not going to break triple digits, let alone 165 again. So yeah, I mean, it's just I did not anticipate that at all.
Yeah, it's such a crazy finish for you, and I mean, if you're gonna have that best week, you might as well have it be in the championship. It's pretty intense, and not. I mean, it's kind of funny you brought up, some of your studs. If someone in the beginning of the week told me that you would have Cooper Kupp, Justin Jefferson, Travis Kelce, and CD Lamb combined for under 40 points, I would have thought that I was on my way to a win. I mean, that's insane that those guys didn't actually combine to do their job for you, and you still won. Because and a big reason. I mean, Rashad Penny dropping 30 points too. Waiver pickup. You went with the matchup. It doesn't always work, but it definitely worked this time.
He was huge down the stretch. He's always been talented, but he just can't stay healthy. But he did for the most important weeks in fantasy football this season.
Oh yeah, I'm sure he brought a lot of teams I'm sure a lot of teams took a chance on him, and he probably led many teams to fantasy titles this year. But now you get a chance to repeat, trying to become the only Green Bowl repeat champion next season. I know you want to enjoy this year. You get to enjoy the whole year as the champion. But do you think that's going to motivate you to continue to work hard? I mean, checking the numbers, you had 72 waiver pickups this year, second most in the league to Uncle Justy. It kind of gives vindication to us that coach as well, because if you look, we were the top coaches and we were in the 3 of the top 4. And then you had, even Ethan and Nate in the 5th place match. So 5 of our top 6 all coached, and really only 1 team didn't coach if you really look at it. But, it's still a lot of times you get these lucky teams that don't do anything and they win. So to be able to make those moves, it shows that while luck is involved, that kind of hard work to build your team is also good. So do you think that you're still going to be motivated to work that hard next season?
More so, honestly. When you get a taste of winning it all, you want to be back, and it's fun too to do different draft styles. So taking Kelsey in the first round means you're picking other guys at different levels, and now I'll have the last pick of the first round, and so that's a totally different draft build. And so I'm excited to figure out what will be optimal for my team from that spot and how that affects waiver wire pickups and stuff. So yeah, draft time is always one of my favorites because I'm in a few leagues and I get to usually try out a couple different strategies to see which works and how they go. So I'm excited to try that again. And I'll certainly, I think, be near the top of the waiver wire moves again next season. I have a lot of fun on Tuesday nights, just finalizing my waiver order and everything every week.
Yeah, and you kind of started slow, so you're able to get a couple of guys early. That doesn't always mean that they're gonna go well, but you kept making moves too. And of course, the way the waiver wire does it gives us anyone in the championship bracket, it usually gives us the higher picks just because we're fighting for a championship. So you obviously stayed on to get guys like Penny and everybody. I mean, really, I thought it was a pretty fantastic season. I think it was one of our most competitive in this league. Again, only one team didn't coach. I also, I just think that just everything that came together. I know I didn't win it all, but taking second was really fun. The only reason I didn't make 70 moves on the waiver wire was because I had some guys that stayed healthy and actually did well. So I just stuck with them and, just, was hoping something good would happen. But, a couple guys let me down this past week. That's all right. They helped me throughout and I had a blast, going through everything. So, I mean, obviously, congratulations to you winning the Green Bowl title. Anyone that watched us on this journey, obviously out there listening, thanks for watching, liking, commenting, and subscribing, and all those great things, seeing our ridiculous journey. And of course, now we know that, remember the Titans here, Scott G, the chosen one. He gets to save humanity from the evil shadows, or so we think. Because if you've been paying attention to the story, it's taken many twists and turns. I'm not sure we have this big of an upper hand on the shadows as we'd like to think. But before we close this wonderful season, I think it's time we found out exactly how this story ends. You remember the Titans are huge to the end of this story, of course. So buckle up. It's going to be a wild ride. Let's check it out.
This is not what I expected after death.
Hassan, it is I, William Turnbull. I understand this might be a shock, but I can explain later. The shadows are putting all of its sight on the Great Pyramid as we speak. The Chosen One is about to enter as the prophecy is completed. I saved you before the explosion, because the shadows think you have perished, and you will be even more important to the story now. The unexpected.
I had a dream about this. You're the one who created the prophecy. But me and my friends also helped create the prophecy due to us being transported through time. My head hurts trying to put this together. And my friend Javier didn't make it. My fellow Shadow Brigade members are long gone.
Hassan, everyone has played an important role in this future. But I could not save everyone. You see, the shadows imprisoned me, but it was here that I learned of my true purpose. I was born into this world with an energy, a piece of a great race of elders from another dimension. I was the backup plan, and being brought here slowly released the elders' power into me. Though my human parts suffer, I've been able to meditate and visit all through time and space in this world. The element that creates the serum is actually the shattered remains of the elder race. The elders created a great schism that created your universe and many others, splitting themselves in the shadows, known as Oshitans Obisus. It bought time, but the plan was to seal the shadows here and destroy this universe to create peace and harmony again, making the original universe whole.
Then why should I help you? That sounds just as evil as the shadows. The innocent are being trapped in a battle of demons and demigods.
Because, Hassan, there is no true God here. The universe is so vast and changing, filled with wonders and nightmares. The elders now see that balance is the true way, and they have seen the void, an empty space between dimensions where nothing can exist. The chaos that the shadows seek is endless. It will disrupt any balance. They must be sealed in the void so that the worlds of the schism can continue to grow.
So you're telling me that the elders have seen their error in making life only to destroy it? This is what madness is. My brain cannot comprehend what you ask, and I fear I'm not going to be of any help.
Yes. If you help, you will not only spare the fate of the Chosen One and your friend James, whom I've also saved, but your friends Constance and Franklin are also in trouble, and are both keys to success of this plan.
You mean, not everyone is dead?
No time to explain. You must inject the serum into the stone, release the true power of the elders before it is too late, and then a portal will open for you, allowing you to go directly to the Great Pyramid to aid your friends.
I'm not sure I understand anything anymore. Maybe this is all in my head as I lie dying in a cave. But hope is something I have always had. Therefore, I'll do my best to save my friends.
Soon the Chosen One will be here. You two are now expendable, having angered us too many times. Which one wants to die first?
Can we choose you?
You won't be cracking jokes anymore.
Ah, damn!
The serum!
Not so fast, Constance. What's this?
Your worst nightmare.
Do it now!
No, you fools! How did you do this? You will all pay! You will all know of our power!
James, Hassan, what happened to you two?
No time to explain.
What's happening?
It seems the end is nigh, friends.
Chosen one, you must go into the king's chamber as soon as you can.
I'm honored to be a part of this final quest. What do I need to do now?
You must drink this elixir. To buy you time against the shadows. Now go.
What now, Hassan?
We wait until the portal opens up with William Turnbull, and we leave fate in the hands of the Chosen One.
William Turnbull?
Turnbull, the one who came to me in a dream. He told me to trust the serum.
The one who saved us and helped us change the Shadow's plans.
Did you think you could keep us from destroying you with those ridiculous vests and that serum? Hassan, what a pleasant surprise. We will now make you all pay.
Not so fast.
What's this now?
So much for your great powers. You didn't even realize that the power of the elders was in me the whole time. You unwittingly brought me to this time.
William!
No, not William. The elders are fools. We are whole again. We are one and we are invincible. And you will all be present to my ultimate victory. Not so fast, Chosen One. Now drink this or I go back to your time to torture your friends and family. My power allows me to rewrite any history and create my own world, endless dimensions of chaos. I will spare your friends and family if you do my bidding, though. Instead, sealing you with the elders in the void.
Don't do it!
Destroy the relic, kid. Forget this world. We're finished. Don't let the shadows win.
I'm sorry I brought you all here. I thought it was the right thing to do.
Scott, do what you know is right in your heart.
What? Hassan, no!
Bottoms up.
Yes! The power is ours!
Not so fast. Did you not even think to ask where I got the time particles from?
For we are the elders locked away in these vessels, and we now have control of the portal.
No! This can't be! Chaos is supposed to win! Chaos is supposed to win!
Hey! Hey!
What happened? Did we win?
There you are. I thought I lost you for a second. Are you okay? It's okay. I know your head hurts. Just like the time with the time scoop, huh? It hurts me too. Keep calm. I am not sure what just happened.
Where am I?
Did we win?
Oh. Is it over?
William, but you were infected.
No worries, Franklin. It was all part of a plan by the elders to get the shadows here to this chamber. Soon, the shadow's effects will fade, and the monsters with it. Everyone can return to the surface. And so, here we are. The prophecy has been fulfilled. The Chosen One has saved humanity. Civilization can rebuild and grow and see the sun again. Constance, Franklin, and Hassan will help lead this world with the knowledge they possess. The Chosen One and the 11 others who all played a big role are returned to their own time, but in a new dimension never affected by the shadows, and they will now prepare for the next fantasy football season with dreams of holding the ancient relic and the knowledge of what they've done. Things they can never tell anyone. Bonded forever.
And then you said bottoms up? Are you kidding me? That's awesome, man. That's legendary. Now I want to win that trophy more than you. I want that trophy next year so bad now.
You'll have to come through me first. This is one of the proudest accomplishments of my life, and there is no way I'm going down without a fight next season. It's an honor to be the chosen one, and I'm not giving up this role easily.
I myself have decided to retire in their dimension as well. The Elder's power has faded from me, sealing me here. I could finally live out the rest of my days. I am just William Turnbull again.
Yes, just William Turnbull.
Please follow the SunDried Tomatoes YouTube channel and watch content including original shows like Legends of the Diamond, random reactions, and Brewing the Facts, the SunDried Tomatoes podcast in video form, and other sports, brewing, or entertainment-related videos. You can like the Facebook page and follow me on Instagram at eclectic_yotso for news updates and just to get to know me better.